everybody, and thank you for joining me again this morning on Next on the Tee. I'm your host, Chris Mascaro, and today, Next on the Tee with me is a guy we've really enjoyed getting to know over the last year, and that's Callaway Golf's Global Director of Product Strategy for Woods and Golf Balls, Jason Finley. This is actually Jason's fourth visit with us, and with most of the country either snowed in or waking up to temperatures below freezing this morning, it's going to be good to dream a little bit about spring and have Jason share with us some of the great new technology that Callaway Golf has this year with their XR woods that just recently got launched, plus their irons and the new chrome soft golf balls, which I'm a huge fan of. We'll talk about all of that when Jason joins me here in just a moment. But before we get started, I want to remind you about one of our new sponsors, Custom Golf Bags USA. Custom Golf Bags USA is the ideal choice for corporates and individuals wanting to customize their logo on high-quality golf gear. Their founder, Travis McLean, has taken his love for golf to new levels for all golf lovers around the world. They understand that everyone wants to dress like a golf professional, play like a golf professional, and now with Custom Golf Bags USA, you can have a bag like a golf professional. At Custom Golf Bags USA, they design their golf bags with the individuality of the customer in mind. They offer the best in quality and innovation by utilizing the most cutting-edge production technologies and expert workers to ensure that your bag is at the top of its class. Custom Golf Bags USA knows that the top quality custom golf bags are more than just fancy embroidery and needlework. It's the effective blend of high quality material, superior design, and top-notch customer service. Everything from their interior structure of the bags to the outer panels is created with the utmost care and attention to detail. Why not let your clients walk the fairways promoting your company brand, and Custom Golf Bags USA can customize a golf bag that'll be a legacy. You'll never be forgotten with a product like that. It's your game, your way. For more information, check out their Facebook page, Custom Golf Bags USA, and give them a like. That's important to them, too. All right, I want to kick off the show like we do every single week here by saluting the brave men and women serving in our military. We want to thank you for your daily sacrifices and all you do to keep the rest of us safe. We also want to thank those of you who serve or have served in every branch of the military plus public service. We truly appreciate what you do to preserve our freedoms and our liberties. It's through your strength and your efforts that our way of life is even possible. Our sincere thanks as well to Sean Cruz and all the wonderful folks over at the Armed Forces Radio Network. It's an honor for us to be broadcast on your network. You can find our show by going to armedforcesradionetwork.org. We also want to thank everyone listening in on wonderful internet sites like iHeartRadio, as well as great sites like Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, Player.fm, and Blog Talk Radio as well. Also want to give a special shout-out to our good friends Mike Kovacs, Ben Kerr, Mark Medeski, and the rest of the great staff over at lastwordonsports.com. Check those guys out online and on Twitter. I'm telling you, folks, their site's just fantastic and contains great content across every sport. Their staff of writers are wonderful. You're going to love going to their site every day for your sports news. If you haven't been there yet, check it out and then bookmark it. Again, lastwordonsports.com. Plus, if someone's dragging you to the mall or to the grocery store, you're just tired of the same old on your commute or while you're working out, download the Player.fm or Stitcher app on your smartphone and take us with you everywhere you go. Let us give you something fun to focus on while you're out and about or doing your workouts. All right, folks, I got my first guest hanging with me here on the Custom Golf Bags USA guest line. Like I said, that is Callaway Golf's Global Director of Product Strategy for Woods and Golf Balls, Mr. Jason Finley. Jason, thanks for getting up in frigid Detroit and being a part of the show with me this morning.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, Jason, like I said in the intro, most of us around the country, and you're experiencing there, where you're at up in Detroit, but we're waking up to temperatures well below freezing. God knows what you're dealing with up there in Detroit, Michigan. We need your help to look forward to spring and the golf season. So let's talk a little bit about some of your. I'm sure it's not. Let's talk about some of your new products from Callaway Golf that you guys have on the market for 2015. And I guess the best place to lead off is like we do on the first tee, and that's with your new XR drivers and fairway woods first. When you look up the XR series on CallawayGolf.com, it says built for outrageous speed. Talk to us about what we can expect from the new XR series.
Yeah, well, XR launched yesterday, actually, so we've had a lot of excitement, things going on around the country all weekend, and there's a lot of events going on, so everybody can get out and try it out. That's part of the reason why I'm here in Detroit this weekend, but it is a product that the entire XR product range is really designed for just what that says, that speed, right? So everything that we do about it is to increase the speed within those products. So if you start with the driver, we have our Speed Step Crown, which really enables the club to be swung faster. So what that does is it gives you, increased aerodynamic efficiency as the club goes through the entire swing. So you're able to pick up more club head speed, which in turn leads to more ball speed, which leads to more distance. So a couple other things we've done is it's got what we call an R-Moto face in it as well, which is really a technique for us to make the face overall thinner and also stronger at the same time, and that allows us to save some weight, and then we redistribute that throughout the head to help get a little bit lower center of gravity and a little more moment of inertia or forgiveness, which is kind of what we all need. And as a result of it being thinner, as you go around the perimeter of the face, it's also a little bit hotter.
So from the research I looked at online about the new technology, and you mentioned aerodynamics a bit, is you've got a Speed Step Crown, which reduces air drag. And without, obviously giving away any trade secrets, what is the Speed Step Crown?
So it's literally a step on the crown. So there's a feature there that sits a little, and what that does is it trips the airflow a little bit better. So really, the shape of a golf club in a big deep face is not aerodynamically efficient, as you can imagine. So we do everything we can to get that airflow going faster to help you swing the club faster. So we have a team of people back in the office that literally spend their time designing the aerodynamic features of drivers, which you wouldn't think is a big deal, but it's definitely becoming more and more a part of what we do on golf clubs, because it's becoming more and more important as faces get bigger and heads have gotten bigger.
Yeah, it's interesting to me when I was watching some of the videos and some of the technology guys talking about how you came up with the Speed Step Crown and that sort of thing. Is in the past, I think we've always sort of looked at a golf club, and when we're trying to pick up speed or club head speed, the use of a wind tunnel. We think that that cutting through the wind, in a kind of a straight line, parallel to to the ball or to the ground is where we're going to get speed. And I think some of the older technology and the design of club heads was all around that, when really you're only parallel to the ground in your speed for hundredths of a second. And really what you guys have done is figured out through this the Speed Step Crown and some other scientific measurements and that sort of thing, that really where you've got to pick up the speed is in when you're coming through the downswing, and this idea of the wind tunnel really was improper thinking, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. I mean, you're right. It doesn't do you any good. You always see the image of the airflow going over the club head right at impact, and that's great, but that's no time at all within the golf swing. So you really to pick up and best design it, you need to pick it up throughout the swing. That's where it's going to benefit the golfer the most. So, we spend a lot of time looking at that airflow, not only right at impact, but throughout the entire swing. So that's why even the shape of the Speed Step Crown is the way it is and things like that. So, it's not a straight parallel line, as an example. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that goes into that, and a lot of really smart people working on it as well for us.
So, with every club, there seems like there's lots of different varieties within a model type. You've got the XR and the XR Pro driver. And the description of the XR Pro, it says it gives you low spin and outrageous speed in the player's shape. Does player's shape more refer to whether I, play the ball left or right, or I play a fade? Is that the player's shape you're looking at?
No, it's more about the shape of the head itself. So what you're going to find with the XR Pro is that it's a little smaller footprint, what we would call. So in other words, it's a little bit deeper face, and it doesn't look as big from front to back, if you will. So from the face to kind of the butt end of the golf club is not as big. So it's a little smaller, more compact shape. It is a little smaller at 440 cc's, but the face is also deeper. So that's a look generally more preferred by better players. That's also going to result in giving you lower spin in many cases. And this driver actually has our forged composite crown, so we're able to take weight out of the top of the golf club, move it very far low. So this is a really low spinning driver, which, is a lot of what people are talking about these days, low spin. But the real key to designing a driver with low spin is to make sure you don't lose too much forgiveness, because generally as you move the weight lower, it goes more forward, which inherently makes the driver less forgiving.
Now, with the fairway woods, they come in three models. You got the XR, the XR Pro, and the XR Deep. Take us through what the XR Deep is in conjunction with the other two models.
Yeah, so we have the three different options, as you mentioned, kind of the standard, the fairway, and the deep. And really for us, the best way to think about it is how you're most using your fairway wood. So on the standard fairway wood, that's really designed for people that hit it more often out of the fairway, right? So people that aren't necessarily as long, or they're having more fairway woods into a par 5 or into a par 4, hopefully, or hopefully not, but in most cases, right? So what we like to say is, 70% of the time you're hitting that one off the ground and 30% of the time off of a tee. That's where, you're going to benefit the most from the performance of that golf club. So it's a little bit bigger. The face side is designed to be hitting it off the ground more often, all those types of things. The Pro one is a little smaller shape, as similar to what we talked about on the driver. And it's going to be kind of for the golfer that's using it half the time off the fairway and half the time off the tee. So, we see a lot with tour players these days that the 3-wood is more of a tee club for them than it is a club that they hit from the fairway, because, frankly, they hit it so far and they don't need a fairway wood even in the par 5s a lot of times.
Right.
But it is functional, either way. And then the deep is for the golfer that hits 3-wood more off the tee. So 70% of the time off the tee versus 30% off of the fairway. So, a lot of people will struggle to hit the deep fairway wood off the ground, just because the way the weight is positioned and it's a deeper face and all those things make it a little harder to hit off the ground. But it's, a great golf club off the tee for someone that maybe doesn't hit their driver as straight, or needs, doesn't need to hit driver off the tee, but still, wants to hit something with a lot of distance and forgiveness. That's where the deep is going to most benefit them.
Got it. Something that's kind of mentioned with both the woods and the irons, Jason, is sort of this cup face technology. What is cup face, and what does it do for me that I'm not getting out of my current set of clubs?
So cup face is really a construction method that we use. We brought it to our fairway woods 2 years ago, and you heard us talking about things like longer from everywhere and up to 32 yards longer and things like that.
Right.
It's really transformed our fairway wood business and performance, both, which is a great combination, obviously, for us. But, golfers have really, seen great things out of our fairway woods the last couple of years. And then this past year, we transitioned with that into our X2 Hot hybrids and saw the same, kind of results where, in the last 2 years, we've seen our fairway wood models both rise to the number one products in the marketplace, which for us in the fairway and hybrids category hasn't happened in a while in the case of fairway woods, or ever in the case of hybrids. And what we've done this year with our Big Bertha iron and both of the XR irons is bring that same technology to irons. So, long story short of it, it's going to give you a little bit hotter face, or a lot hotter face, and kind of enable golfers to hit the ball farther, which, we all need. But the real challenge as you get into these face technologies and irons is really maximizing and optimizing the feel, because as you make irons thinner, they tend to not feel as good. So the real challenge, and where we've done a lot with both the Big Bertha iron and the XR, is really to enhance the feel characteristics within having that cup face. But you hear a lot these days about face technology in products, whether people are putting things in soles or faces to help with that, or any of that. But, all our testing has shown is that the face cup is the best way to make a hotter faced iron. And, really lower on the face, where the majority of the golfers hit it, is where you're going to see some pretty large gains and benefits over the competition. So, I already saw someone hit it this morning and was talking about how much further they were hitting it, even though it's, 10 degrees outside and there's snow on the ground. So people have been really excited about the distance they've gotten with the XR irons.
So, you guys have so many, whether it's sub-brands or model types. You've got the XR, you mentioned the Big Bertha, so you've got those in the drivers and the fairway woods and the irons. And when we see guys like Phil or Patrick Reed go out and win a golf tournament or bomb it off the tee, we all want to run out and get that driver, whichever one they're using, or those models of clubs, which may not always be the best decision for our games, because we don't play like them as much as we like to think in our heads that we do. We really don't. How do we know which Callaway driver, which model of irons is actually really the best for our game?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is obviously go get fit by a fitting professional or a trained kind of expert, because there are a lot of options. And, while I want everybody to buy Callaway, I realize that there's a lot of other options out there as well. So, the best thing to do is really, go get on a launch monitor, get fit, find what works best for your game. Right? There's some tools that, we offer. If you go to our website, you can go through an iron selector, and a driver, same kind of thing. They really ask you some, basic questions to get you started and generally in the right direction. And that's always a great place to start before you go to, any of our retail partners or, like a guy came up to me this morning here at Carl's Golfland in Detroit, and, he said, I think I want to try the new XR driver because XYZ. So it was great to have that starting point reference of what product is right for you. So that's always the best place to start. But, and generally they all have unique design characteristics and reason for being within the line. So, and then finally, price obviously plays a role in it as well, because we have different products at different price points as well. So, unfortunately, we all don't have a unlimited discretionary income to spend on a game. So we realize that as well and have different options for that.
Jason, we've talked in the past about, my ball of choice last year became the Callaway Super Soft. I love how that ball performs off the driver and how it feels around the green. This year, you guys have got the Chrome Soft golf ball. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, so this is one that, frankly, we've been really excited about, and that's gone really well for us, early on out there in the marketplace. But you're right, a lot of people kind of fell in love with Super Soft and how distinct and different the feel of that golf ball was. We had a 38 compression Super Soft last year. We got a new version out this year that's down at 35. And it became almost a little bit of a cult following. And the one complaint, if any, that we got with it is, I love the feel of it. I love everything about it. I love, how long it is, how straight I hit it. But I just can't control it around the green. And, it's a two-piece Sherlin golf ball. And that's one of the trade-offs you make when you make, that construction and also that cover material with Sherlin. So what we've done with, all the learnings we had in that and Chrome Soft is we've really made the softest tour ball on the market. So that's a pretty strong statement. Obviously, this ball is softer than any other tour level ball that you will see on the market. And the golf ball category is a really hard one because you can't oftentimes see a difference. In a golf club you can tell that it looks different, right? But in a golf ball, other than our hex aerodynamics and what name's on it, you can't ever do that. So people can, bounce a ball on a wedge or put it down and hit two putts and instantly feel the difference as compared to your standard tour ball. So, we're at about 65. We're at 65 compression on this golf ball, and the average tour ball is probably in the high 90s if you average them all out. So that's a very significant difference that golfers will notice. And we've had a lot of success with this golf ball, lower spinning off of the longer clubs, which is going to lead to more distance. It's also going to be straighter for the majority of golfers, which is a pretty good combination. And then it spins, like you would expect a tour level ball, in a lot of cases more than a lot of the tour balls in the marketplace around the green, which is, great. So you get people talking about, how great and how consistent it is around the greens. Phil's told us, and obviously you would expect him to say good things, but he's told us this is the most consistent ball he's ever used around the green, and how important that is to him is pretty obvious. With he's one of the most talented short game players in the world. So this is one that we're really excited about, and really think it's going to change the golf ball category, not only for us, but really be a true paradigm shift for the industry. So it's something we're really excited about. The early feedback from golfers in the past month has been really exciting to see. And, we had our first tour win last week with a Chrome Soft golf ball with Lee Jansen. So light of excitement already.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to give that ball a try. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it performs. You talk looks different. You mentioned the phrase looks different a moment ago, and that's one of the things that I wanted to also talk about is, from a design perspective, you've talked so much about, we've talked so much about, I should say, the mental side of the game over the last few weeks, Jason, mostly with respect to Tiger's game and how lost he seems out there and the lack of confidence he seems to have in his swing and everything that he's doing. So much of this game, Jason, is played between our ears, and part of that is confidence that we need to feel when we're looking down at a golf club resting behind the ball. We got to feel confident that the golf club's going to perform like we want, kind of instill a little bit of that confidence in our brains. So talk a little bit about creating the design and how a golf club actually looks and what that does for you guys and what it does for us.
Yeah, I think, obviously having confidence in what you put down behind the ball to hit it is a huge part of it. And, you see it in both drivers, and irons where, you get some golfers that, really want to look down at, what would be considered a blade or a player's club. But frankly, those clubs aren't going to work best for the majority of people. So in some cases, it's finding, the right blend of making an iron as forgiving as you can, but still look as small and compact. And in some cases, it's, guys want to look down at the biggest thing they can because they don't feel like they're very good and they want to take as much help from the golf club and the technology as they can. So, really across our lineup, we have, all the way from a muscle back blade to our Big Bertha iron, which, is a big, friendly, forgiving iron. And we've got choices for everyone. And what we try and do within each shape is really make it the most forgiving and playable that we can for that given shape. And there's a lot of work that goes into that, in the iron category to make sure that it still looks good. In the case of drivers, certainly, if you don't have confidence in something, you're not going to have the confidence to hit it straight. So the design aspect of it is crucial. And, like I talked about with the pro driver, better players tend to like a deeper face, maybe not as big or as wide of a footprint with it, but then you have golfers that want to look at the biggest thing they can because they have more confidence in it. So it's really not only about optimizing each one, but having options within that for different types of golfers and preferences.
That's great. Jason, a couple more before we let you go. First, I saw the video on the Callaway Facebook page about the golf ball production line at your plant up in Chicopee, Massachusetts. You guys produce 3 balls per second or 180 golf balls per minute. So if your production line worked a normal 8-hour day like the rest of us, you'd produce 86,400 golf balls a day, which might be enough for my buddy Bob to get through our annual golf trip. I'm not sure. But talk about your production facility and what they produce.
Yeah, so we have a facility in Chicopee, Massachusetts, as you mentioned. It's actually going all the way back to one of the original Spalding plants that we acquired when we bought the Top Flight brand probably 7 or 8 years ago. And really what we've done with that facility is, optimize it. It's not as big, obviously, as it was back when Spalding was using it to produce all the inflatables that they had. But it's a great asset for us to have here in the U.S. All of our urethane covered or tour golf balls, so Chrome Soft and our Speed Regime, are produced here in the United States. Which is something, we're obviously very proud of, and we've got a long-standing tenure and history within the market up there in Chicopee. And, I think the average tenure of the plant workers there in Chicopee is 27 years, 25, 27 years, with some, up in the 40s. So it's exciting and a very kind of dedicated an educated group of folks up there that really know a lot about how to make the best golf balls in the world. So it's an exciting thing to see, and certainly to have that capability to build them here in the U.S. something we're, obviously proud of, to the point where we put it on the packaging of the golf balls as well. So, we make a variety of our other golf balls there as well. So it's a pretty busy place, and particularly this year, with the success we've had early on of Chrome Soft, we've now got the team there working six days a week and going towards 7. So it's a busy place as the season gets started and ready to go.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. Jason, you guys have so many of the great golfers as part of your, the Callaway Golf family, like Gary Player and Arnold Palmer. Obviously, Phil Mickelson, for everything that he's done, has been a great spokesperson. You mentioned him a little bit ago. But let's talk about some of the younger golfers who you have out there as part of Team Callaway, like Patrick Reed and Harris English, Chris Kirk, Segmung Bae, who's got 3 top 10 finishes so far in his first 7 events this season. Talk about the younger guys that you have out there playing your equipment.
Yeah, it's definitely been a focus area for us to get, not only increase the size of our staff, but also to get younger, have, players that better fit, a profile that we're looking for was, more socially active and engaged, younger, longer hitting, a lot of those things. So, between, guys, like Pat Perez, for example, is, very socially active. And, Gary Woodland, obviously younger, more fit, stronger, a great player. Chris Kirk would fit that profile. Harris English has been great. And, Patrick Reed's had a pretty good run in the last couple of years as well.
Right.
So it's been exciting to add guys to our team. And really they've been great complements to some of the others that you mentioned, whether it's some of our legendary ambassadors like Gary Player or Mr. Palmer or Annika, as example, and Phil would certainly fit into that camp as well. That has been on our team for a long time. But having added a lot of these younger guys and gals, with Lydia Ko being the number 1 ranked female player in the world as well. We've also tried to take the same approach on some of the other tours as well, where we may not have the volume of staffers, but certainly being pretty critical of ourselves on how we're selecting the people that we're signing and adding to the team.
That's great. Jason, for folks who haven't really explored your site, talk about all the great content that people can find on CallawayGolf.com.
Yeah, our website is, ever evolving, but, it's really become the hub for not only our product information, a slight bit of it is commerce driven, but really the primary vehicle of our website is to not only get product information, but also to be very focused on delivering kind of unique and different content that you don't typically see in the golf arena of unique information. So whether it's, product videos with our R&D experts or kind of fun and entertaining stuff that we do with some of our tour players. Just as an example, we did a piece we filmed yesterday with Mr. Player. Might have included a DeLorean from harkening back to the Future days. So there's a lot of, and that'll be released next week. So there's a lot of unique kind of things on there, all the way down to, we've got a community now where people can go in and talk to, our marketing team and folks like myself and our R&D team to really get better product information and speak with other golfers as well. So that's something we've added in the last couple of days that's been really exciting for a lot of people as well.
That's great stuff. Jason, how can our listeners follow you and Callaway Golf over social media?
So on social media, you can follow, Callaway Golf on Twitter at Callaway Golf. I am at Jason Finley CG. And certainly you can find Callaway on Facebook as well and Instagram. And, through all those different channels, we're constantly releasing new content and exciting things to share with golfers to, again, not only, show off our products, but also some fun and, oftentimes sometimes silly stuff as well to really help people kind of enjoy the game, all while learning a little bit about our exciting team and products.
There you go. Jason, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning and for continuing to be a part of the show. It's always so great getting the opportunity to talk with you. I hope you'll come back again soon and join me again. We learn so much, and we get to hear so much about the great products at Callaway Golf every single time you're on the show.
Well, I appreciate you having me on and your support of Callaway.
All right. Take care, Jason. Best of luck to you and everyone else at Callaway and to your family. Stay warm, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too, Jason. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Jason Finley from Callaway Golf. Great stuff. I tell you, the technology is something that, the stuff sort of behind the scenes and understanding, how do they come up with this stuff and, what is the science behind, what produces a better, faster golf swing or a better, faster golf ball or less spin or less drag, all that stuff. That is some things that I always enjoy getting to learn more about. I hope you do as well. All right, before we close up shop, I want to let you know about a great new book from our friends Dave Stockton and Dave Stockton Jr. out there called Own Your Game. In this latest book, they let you know how to use your mind to play winning golf. And right now, since it's so darn cold outside, sharpening your mind at least gets you something going on there with golf that you can actually do. So if you can't be out there swinging and chipping and putting, let's start to try to master the mental side of the game. So, Own Your Game recreates the experience of actually riding 18 holes with Dave Stockton at one of his highly sought-after corporate events and draws from his experience as a Champions Tour player and a regular tour player and a revered coach, really. So he shows you a couple things: how to think better, stay calmer, execute more consistently, and most importantly, how to enjoy the game more thoroughly. So go to StocktonGolf.com to get your copy, and for a couple extra dollars, he'll even autograph it for you. All right, everybody, it's time for us to put a bow on this one. My sincere thanks one more time to our friend Jason Finley from Callaway Golf for being such a great guest with me this morning, and we thank you for choosing to tune in. We appreciate you the most. Please also check out our sister show, Thursday Night Tailgate, with me and my co-host Bob Lazari, our announcer Joe LaJanusa. That show airs live every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk Radio and starting at 10:15 Eastern Time on Armed Forces Radio. You can also catch us on Friday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Boost Radio, and starting then again at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, replayed on Armed Forces Radio. We're joined every week by legends from around the NFL and the CFL. Please check out both shows on Facebook. Give us a like. That's important to us, too. So Thursday Night Tailgate and Next on the Tee. You can find us online at nextonthetee.net and ThursdayNightTailgate.com as well. All right, you can stream or download any of our episodes, by the way, for free, and keep up to date with any of our future guests on those sites as well. So please check us out. Thanks again, like I say, for choosing to listen to this show today. I appreciate you guys the very most. And until next week, hit 'em straight, my friends.